Have a good one. Good one.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick and refill my cup, and I'll be back.
Oh, there's a little bookstore. I thought I'd jump on this one. It's like a channel now.
Can y'all hear me?
Hey Peyton.
She said, "Hey, Peyton."
Hi. Hello. It's about angles.
So you want to listen?
Over here.
It doesn't matter.
Honey, look at you working from home. It looks so natural on you.
No, you don't have your volume.
Oh.
Remember, wait. Oh, hold. I'm sorry.
That.
I'll do one volume. I don't think nobody's on now. I don't know.
I'm off.
Okay.
I think you're on.
Okay, we figured it out. We have to mute one person.
Oh my gosh, why in the orange berry chocolate tin? Like you said, we're gonna talk about it.
Right. All right, 1 second. Yeah. Just too populated over here. Ooh, ooh. Birds chirping, things going.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Can you hear him?
I know. Hold on, y'all gotta write this or I'll get my days wrong. I'll mess up. I was on the phone with Rachel and I. You should have seen it. Like y'all, we were on the phone with Orlando World Market, whatever it's called, Marriott. Where are we staying for convention? Anyways, what's it called? We're on the phone with this guy, this home slice for like 45 minutes trying to figure something out. I'm like, it was interesting. It was interesting. Needless to say, Dakota and Kenan have opted out of convention this year. There's something else, going on. And so Rachel and I were like, well, I guess we'll be roomies right now. One of our reservations and try to book it with another and this and that. So it was a cluster, but we got it all situated.
Did you ever get Dakota a ticket?
No. Okay, but it's
Right.
that was half the battle, right? Well, okay, so true life moment. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices, right? Well, Dakota's going to Argentina next week, and he'll be gone for 9 days on a dove hunt. This trip is insane. The amount, I'm like, oh my God, of money, like, oh my God. And I'm like, I think you are maxed out a trip for 5 years. Like, you're done. Like, you're done. And so, anyways, him taking another week off work, unpaid vacation. We're trying to build a house over here, and Lord help us Jesus, it's tax season, and that's enough to gag a mule. And so I'm like, honestly, I just don't think it's, sometimes you got to make adult sacrifices. I'd love for you to go, babe. You've seen me on stage many times. I'm so thankful you were. If we wouldn't have just gone to Orlando in October, I would have been like, totally. But I'm like, we just went to Orlando in October. It's not like it's a new place. They have me, like, my schedule is from the time I walk in the door to the time I leave. It's crazy. He knows that. Like, it's like, and usually he's just like holding my purse and taking pictures and running and getting me a coffee and this and that. So it was like, let's make an adult decision and let's say for you not to go. And then when Kenan found out Dakota wasn't going, he's like, well, I ain't going if Dakota ain't going. I'm like, I love you, babe, but I've been in many conventions before. So he was like, let's just send Tweedledee and Tweedledum off to like be roomies together. They're like, geez. And so they're like, Jill and Rach again on another trip. So that's what we were just doing.
Basically.
I know. So anyways, it was funny. We had to figure it all out. But all right, we're getting there.
By the end of it, give us 1 more hour. We got it all worked out.
I know.
One more hour.
Look at the sticky notes. I had to do all these confirmations and things. Like, this is my life.
I'm going to make give me that.
Write this down. I can't
remember
remember this.
Okay. You will lose that.
Okay, that.
Can't wait until number in case they try and charge you.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll get started. Okie dokie. Let me go ahead and record. Oh, we are recording, so everybody gets to hear all that loveliness. Let me stop the recording and start again. All right. Okay, so if you were with us last night, let's see, a couple of us were on a call last night with Sonia Dudley. It was such an honor to be on the call with her. And what's crazy is Rachel and I really thought long and hard about a book that we felt like would be really great to meet our team where we're at right now. And when we talked about where our struggles were with all of us and what we hear daily, we constantly hear defeat, stress, overwhelmed, I can't, I don't know, all the worries of the world. That's what we hear. And so we were on a search for a book that's like about mindset and perspective and affirmations and positivity. And so we narrowed it down to a few, and we felt really led to the book, obviously, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, which is why we're going to be starting it. And then last night, this was such a God thing, Sonia Dudley had no idea whatsoever that our team was starting this today. She had no idea. I never even told her that at all. And last night, while she was chatting with some of us, she said, y'all, one of my favorite books that helped me overcome so many obstacles was What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. She said, oh, but I won't get into that. And we were all like, holding our book up. I'm like, we're doing it tomorrow. And I was sidebar messaging her. I'm like, that's the book. Oh my God. And she's like, your team's gonna love it. Like, she's like, it changed so much for me. And to hear that confirmation from her last night really made me feel kind of peace, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a reader, but I know a lot of people aren't. And a lot of people get really excited about reading and then they let it die off in about a week and they don't hold themselves accountable. But when she said that last night, I just felt like, okay, God, I get it. This is the book we're supposed to do. People were supposed to hear that last night, so they felt the conviction as well that they were going to stay faithful through this. So completely understand if Tuesdays at 11 o'clock don't work best for you, but they do work best for me and Rach. So we've got to accommodate our schedule. So if you can't make it on a week, I'm going to mute everybody. Sorry. Continue. So if you can't make it on a Tuesday at 11 or your lunch break is different, totally fine. I'm going to be recording each one of the studies, so definitely plug in with us. Hi, sweet baby. I see little sweet baby's face on there. Hi, brother. Oh, he's so cute. So definitely get with us when you can. Don't feel like, well, I couldn't join live, so I'm done. I'm going to count myself out. I challenge you to write inside your book, okay, because I had to do this with the last book study that I did, and then Dakota and I carried it on together with the book study we did, and I haven't missed a day. Something about signing my name is pretty powerful. I don't know what it does to me, but it makes me feel like I'm cheating the system if I've signed and said I was going to do it. So what I'm going to do And I'll take a picture of it later after I do it, but I haven't cracked open yet because I want to crack it open with y'all. I'm going to write myself a positive affirmation in my book to myself. And I'm going to tell myself, Jill, you've committed to this study. This is going to help me grow. I'm going to help overcome. I'm going to list some struggles, some things that I'm struggling with. Stay committed, stay on course, stay focused. This is not a race. This is nothing to, whatever I want to write about. I'm going to sign my name and I'm going to tell myself I'm committed and devoted of finishing this book. So if you're somebody who you crack a book open and then it goes and sits somewhere for a while, or you have really great intentions in the beginning of starting and then you let happen one too many times, I challenge you to do that with me and join with me and do that, because something about signing your name is pretty dang powerful. I don't know. Okay, so our book studies are going to last no more than an hour, just like Working Wednesday. We get started at 11. The ultimate goal is to be done by noon or before noon, depending on how long the chapters are, how long our discussions are. So we broke it down into, I think we did it as a 6-week or a 7-week, Rach?
No, 7.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks.
Plus today was 7.
Yeah, so today being kind of 7-ish, but what it is. So 6 weeks. So what we're going to do, if you want to write this down, or if you want a sticky tab, I've got Post-it, so I'm going to sticky tab on mine so we all know how we're kind of going to stay together with it. So each week is what we're going to divide it into, Tuesday to Tuesday. So from this Tuesday the 10th to Tuesday the 17th, we're going to do chapters 1 through 5. Meaning we're going to read 1, we're going to read 2, we're going to read 3, we're going to read 4, okay? And we're going to read 5. Not stop when you get to 5, we're going to read through 5, okay? So we're going to do that, 5 chapters. And if you look at the chapters, I looked at them, you might think if you're not a reader, 5 chapters, oh my God, it's 29 pages.
Mm-hmm.
I can read 29 pages while I'm taking a bubble bath, okay? So, and there, it seems like a pretty easy read. Reading and writing teacher, if you didn't know my background knowledge. Seems like a pretty easy read. The font's a good size. I know 8-year-olds would always freak out about that. They're like, the font's big, Miss Renfro, I can do this. You can do this. It's great. Lots of looking like charts and things like that. So look, half a pages are bullet pointed and take up a lot of space. So don't be overwhelmed by 29 pages. If reading is not your strength, that's okay. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes as adults, we do hard things, like pay our bills, mow our yard, do laundry, things like that we don't like to do. And as business owners, we do hard things. We read, we learn, we dive in. So week 1, chapter 1 through 5. Week 2, we're going to be doing chapters 6 through 10. You want to write that down. Okay. And then week 3 is going to put us over into May the 1st. Can't believe it. 11 through 15. The next week, May 8th, that's going to be chapter 16 through 20. And then the last week of our study is going to be on May 15th. We're going to be chatting about chapters 21 through 24. And on my calendar, it says it's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day on that day. So it looks like I'm going to have a cookie that day. 100%. I'm going to eat a cookie. So it's really exciting that this is going to get us through the end of April and the beginning of May. What's also really cool, if you look at your calendar, through that time of the study, we're going to have some great things happen in our company. The Too Big to Miss event is on Cinco de Mayo. We'll have margaritas that day to celebrate whatever the heck is happening. I'm so pumped. But sorry for the little ears on the call tonight or today, whatever it is that you heard that. But I'm excited for what is to come and for us to have this mindset breakthrough during this exciting season in our business. I think that that's divine appointment, that we're transitioning from one month through another month. So we're going to have a lot of booming momentum, and what better way to have booming momentum but with a positive mindset to get us through that. So I'm really excited that we're going to be talking about powerful things that's going to change the course of our business. I'm just excited. I really, really am. So many people that I look up to. So Sonia Dudley, Helen McFadden, Michelle Thomas, Tara Castaneda, Brooke Hemingway, a lot of people that I look to for my mentorship and to learn and grow from raved about this book and said it was a breakthrough thing for their team. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. So that's the breakdown for our week. So I'm so not going to teacher you, but I'm just going to give you some ins and outs and some knowledge. Reading and writing is my background. I love it. And I taught kiddos who struggled to read. It was painful for them. And I know it's painful for some adults. I'm married to that man. He's highly dyslexic. He struggles on reading. His reading level is the age of an elementary school kid. And I know that. So whatever is thrown at you and you feel like that's a struggle, I want you just to and take it one page at a time. And I'm going to give you some tips for being a good reader and how to dive into a book study, because there are some distractions that are going to take place. And this isn't just like listening to Flip Flop CEO on Audible. This isn't just like listening to something while driving down the car. You may have purchased the Audible version of this, but I'm going to challenge you to not multitask. Challenge you to, if you are listening to it, sit down, get out a pad of paper and a pen, and look at your timer on your phone if you're listening to it, so you know to stop right at chapter 5, so you can really get the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about. So if you are going to be doing the paper book copy with us, which I'm really excited about, every day that you sit down and do reading, think about if you're doing 5 chapters a week. We could do 1 chapter a day. You could break that down. You could break it into minutes. You could do 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Or if you're somebody who is a reader like me, 5 chapters at one time for you probably isn't that big of a deal. But what I'm going to challenge myself to do is not do the 5 chapters in one day, quick and fast. I want to really dive into each chapter and figure out how I can apply it and I can utilize the tools for my life. Make sense? So my promise to myself is what I want to challenge, because here's Jill's type of reading. I can be like, all right, fine, I'll go read 5 chapters and I'm done in 10 minutes. I am a good speed reader, but I don't want to do that. I don't want one ear and out the other. I want to dive in and I want to learn. And I challenge you to dive in and learn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit down. If I'm going to read chapter 1, it's only, 1, 2, let me see. I think it's like 5 or 6 pages or something. Yeah, like 4 pages, chapter 1. I'm going, yay, that's you. I know. We're the same type of reader over here. I'm going to sit down with my highlighter. I think highlighting is huge. If you didn't know, they give your babies a highlighter on a state standardized test. Why do they give your babies a highlighter on a state standardized test? Not for them to color their pictures on their paper, for them to highlight specific things, key things that stick out. So I think a highlighter and I think a pen or a pencil are great tools to have while diving into a book. And I think a designated notebook, not just, I'm going to use normal sticky notes around. I would find a designated notebook that you say, this is my book study notebook right now. Or maybe it's just a spiral at the dollar store, or you find your old kid's unicorn Lisa Frank spiral. It's got 16 pages left. I don't know. I still have some of those things. And isn't Lisa, why did she go out? I don't understand. Like, I loved her. We need to bring her back in business. I would totally buy that stuff again. But anyways, so sit down, find a quiet spot, and it may only be a few minutes a day, and, take it paragraph by paragraph, because when we are reading to learn, it's different than reading for enjoyment. I can sit down and read 120 pages, dive into a novel about love and sappiness, and he fell in love with her. Oh, I can just get into it. I'm lost. But reading pages about learning is different. So dive into it, find things that speak volumes to you that you think, I could utilize that. Wow, that spoke to me. I've never thought of that before. So those are questions to ask yourself during reading. Okay. And you may be thinking, whoa, Jill, you're really talking to us like we're dumb idiots over here. No, I just realized a lot of people don't do book studies. You've been out of college for how long? You've been out of high school for how long? Right? Like, we all have. So I know, like, there's a lot of things that I haven't done in a long time, and I kind of just need my skills refreshed. I'm kind of rusty in that. So when you look at it, you say, okay, wow, was there anything in this paragraph that really spoke to me? Okay. And if nothing really did, don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Keep going. Maybe there's only one nugget in that chapter that speaks volumes to you. And then ask yourself, how did this speak to me? How am I going to apply this? What is this going to look like in my life? These are types of reading questions that we ask ourselves to make sure we're comprehending what's going on. Because there's 2 types of reading out there. Well, actually, there's only 1 type of reading, but there's 2 ways people read. People read to comprehend. That means they understand, or they just read to read, one ear and out the other. That's what a lot of kids struggle with. They read to read and they can't comprehend what's going on. So if you go back and you read the chapter and you're like, I have no idea what the heck they're talking about. And I did that literally this morning in my devotional, and I was reading, I was in Luke, and I'm like, what in the heck is going on in Luke? I'm like, what is that? Like, was he talking for, was that Chinese? Like, I don't even know, because I was too busy thinking about something else. I had to stop and say, no, stop thinking about that and get into the book. Okay. Like, you have to tell yourself, no, stop thinking about cooking dinner. You're reading. Stop thinking about going to contact people on Facebook. You're reading. Stop thinking about your husband, how he made you mad. You're reading. You have to tell yourself, get out of my head. And those are reading strategies I taught kiddos. Get out of my head, spiders. Stop making cobwebs. Let's get focused. I need a movie in my head. Where are the cartoon characters? And this is not a fictional text. It is nonfiction, meaning that it is, not going to have pretend characters, but we can still have that cartoon character in our head. We can still think those things and be like, okay, what is this talking about? How would that look like in my life as a Plexus ambassador? How would that look like in my life as a wife? How would that look like in my life as right now? I'm always thinking about the next thing I need to do when I need to be in the present moment. Guilty as charged. Me too. We always make fun of Rachel's husband, Kenan. We always say that he's one step ahead of like the entire world, like of whatever. Like if y'all watched him, like, oh my God, like it's comical. Like I can't even describe it because I don't live with the man, but I'm like, what did he just do? And Rachel's like, just keep going. I'm like, he literally just left straight through the house like a bolt of lightning. He said he was going to pack his lunch. The lunch is on the counter. He never even grabbed the lunch, but the door's still open. And I'm like, she's like, oh, he was already thinking about what he was going to do at 3 p.m. Too busy enough to ever even grab the lunch. I'm like, oh my God, he's like a comic show to watch. But anyways, it's funny. So we always think about one next step ahead, but be in the present moment. So I'm really excited about this. And if you want to learn, some more background knowledge about it, you can totally go to Google, go to YouTube. There's lots of videos about it. The person Shad, Dr. Shad, who wrote it, there's tons of information about him, about why he, said that this is such a struggle. There's lots of things that are biblical as well. The tongue, is life and death, and it speaks power. And when we speak, things into existence and we step out in faith and hope, things begin to change. And last night, Sonia chatted to us, a lot of us, about that. She said, what you think about is what you bring about and what you're talking about. And that's why these positive affirmations change our minds and change our lives. And that's why what we're going to be focused on is our thought closet and what we think about and what we speak about, and especially about ourselves. Because if we wake up every day and say, we're worthless, I'm not a good reader, I can't, well then yeah, you're going to have worthless work. You're not going to have good reading work. So before you dive into this, I want you to tell yourself every day, I am a good reader. I'm going to be engaged. All distractions are not going to get me. I'm going to be focused, and I'm ready to learn, because I know what's holding me back. Just like Sonia said last night, it's not another product training. It's not learning how to do another 3-way call. It's not listening to another video. It's not learning how to talk about Slim even better. She's like, you're holding yourself back. This is where we have to pull the layers back of the onion and really figure out what is holding us back. It's the things we say about ourselves and the things we say to ourselves, because that radiates over to everyone else and it becomes contagious. So I would really like to speak life into myself so that I can speak life into others. That's ultimately why we went with this book. So chapter 1, what we're going to be looking at this week, is looking for a better way. Already sounds good. 2, the answers. Ding, ding, ding. Hope there's something in there. 3, creating positive change that lasts. That sounds like something we all need. 4, new discoveries. 5, we learn to believe. So this sounds like something that we absolutely need, not only as Plexus ambassadors, but as wives, as mothers, as sisters, as friends, as coworkers out in the world. So really excited about this. If you anybody have any questions, anything, I'm an open book. If you feel like, hey, how can you help read this a little bit better? Or what do you think I should do here? I'm happy to answer anything. You can totally unmute yourself if you would like and dive in. So what we're going to do each week is it's going to be an engagement process. So definitely come ready and read. So I don't want to do all the talking. Rachel doesn't want to do all the talking. I think book studies are better when we all engage and we learn. So definitely going to be like passing the mic and saying, you know, like, Kim, what do you think about that? You know, chat with us a little bit about chapter 1. You know, can you run through that with us? Or we may say, hey, Mandy, you know, take it away. You got the mic. Go for it. Talk to us about chapter 2. Some things that are really powerful with you. I think that definitely is a game changer instead of you just want. So my advice for you is if you can't be engaged into the book study, I don't want to say not come, definitely tune in and listen, but you can easily just say like, hey, I'm driving right now, or, you know, I'm at a t-ball game. You can sidebar it in the little chat over there. So if we call you name or whatever, but if you are showing your face and you're here and logging in, it's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's not thinking, oh, I'm not qualified to do that. No, we're all qualified to do it because God's going to qualify us to do. We're just chatting. We're just friends. This is not about a title. It's not about who's smarter than anybody. It ain't about that. We're here to learn together, and I need to learn these things just as much as you do. And I know some of you are going to have takeaways different than I am, and I'm grateful for that because I'm going to be able to learn from that as well. So you have any questions? Absolutely. Unmute yourself. Feel free to chat right now if you want to. If you don't, fine. If you're excited, let me know. If you're skeptical, let me know. If you're nervous, if you haven't read a book in 10 years, let me know. If you know, whatever you want. So y'all, anybody want to take it away? Rach, you want to say it? Let me mute myself so Rach can unmute herself. It's weird when you're together.
I'm excited. My book should be here Friday. Yay. Okay. I do want to say, I'm just going to kind of piggyback. People have said this book is legit life-changing because if you look in the mirror right now or just think about, reflect and say, what is holding me back? You know, it probably is mindset. You know, it probably is. It's probably you got in a funk, or maybe you're thinking no one wants Plexus anymore. Or maybe you're thinking I'm not good enough to lead. That's probably more than likely, or I don't know people. I ran out of people to talk to, things like that. The products aren't working, whatever it is, it's all mindset. So I'm really excited to dig into this book. I myself have never read it. It's something that's been on my list forever, but I have not read it yet. So I'm really pumped about that. So yeah, I'm with Jill. Just be ready to come and talk. I just finished a book study with some people on my team, and it was a lot of fun learning from them. It was very much open discussion. Everyone was talking all the time. And I learned so much just from hearing how other people read the book versus what I was perceiving. You can give, 5 people the same paragraph and they're all going to tell you something different about it. So it's really cool to hear different perspectives. So like Jill said, don't think that, well, I'm not a Joel, they're going to know more than me. No, there's things in the last book study where I was major struggle bus in it and people taught me a lot. And there was other things people were struggle bus and I taught them something. So everyone has something to bring to the table. So like she said, don't let that intimidate you. Don't get off of here and think, oh, not coming back to that. I don't want to talk because I know how it is. I used to get anxiety in college whenever they would start calling on people in the classroom that I would not know the answer. It will not be like that at all. So really excited for that, y'all. And, we're excited to dig into the first 5 chapters.
While she was just talking, I read the introduction. I think
Let me mute myself.
While she was just talking, I read the introduction. It's only like a page. It got some good nuggets. I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. It says that we're programmed, we're wired by our successes and our failures, about what our families have done. So think about like a long line of family. I know for a fact, majority of my family, besides my mom, majority of my family has struggled with weight issues their whole life. So it's like, oh, my family's fat, so I'll be fat. And that was something I told myself growing up for a long time, And I remember telling my mom came from poverty and struggled really bad. And I remember saying, well, my mom was broke. I'll probably be broke. And my parents are divorced and their parents, like it was just ongoing thing. And so I remember telling myself, this is really sad. Before Dakota, if you didn't know, I was engaged before Dakota to a not very good relationship, very verbally abusive, and I was not the Jill who I am today. But I remember telling myself, yeah, you still need to go through with this marriage, which will probably be divorced before long because your parents were divorced and so were theirs and so were theirs. And that's just the way that it's supposed to be. You don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. You don't know those things. And I would tell myself those things. And it's the program that I thought. So that's crazy. It's so true, that we have to learn how to overcome those things. And I'm happy to say where I'm at in my life today, I have overcome all of those things. And I know for a big reason, it's because God introduced Plexus in my life to understand what health meant and healthy weight loss and healthy life, and to understand what healthy relationships look like and growing processes, and improving my walk with the Lord. And so that's really cool. I love that. That's something that I read already in a nugget. So I love it. I'm excited. So today was just like a little intro call for us to kind of understand, because a lot of questions have been rolling in. What do I need to read? How do I get it done? Is there homework? Is there questions? I'm not going to do like guided reading. I'm not sending no questions out. We're all grown adults. We know what to do. We know how to read. And we're going to chat and we're going to learn, and we're probably going to dig up some wounds and put some salt in there and feel like, holy crap, I've been struggling. Yeah, we've been struggling. So yeah, if anybody doesn't have any questions, I wanted to keep today about 30 minutes or so. So y'all are free to log off. If you have questions, you want to chat about it, you can stay on.
See y'all next week.
I love that you said that, Haley. That's really good. Yay.